Paradise World Videos, we're back in Torrevieja, Costa Blanca, Wednesday morning, big warning, it's going to be a scorcher heat wave, yeah, red alert for the next week or so, up to 40 degrees, but most importantly, we've got some bad news, especially if you come into Spain, using Ryanair, other things going on as well, we've got wildfires, and plus a lot of things going on, and we're going to tell you, if it gets affect you, how to claim your money back. For starters, our Spanish tourism in Spain has hit another record high with over 45 million tourists, and that is unbelievable, isn't it? This is up on June, which actually spent a whopping 60 billion euros. So loads of euros being generated here in Spain, and every month, every year, they're breaking record figures and making loads of dollars and money and euros. But most importantly, if you're coming out of Spain, you're going to be on a big warning at the moment, because if you're flying down the Andalusia area, there's a massive fire, and yeah, it's a bit out of control at the moment. It's in Cadiz, and it's not looking good, because they're calling all emergency services. Wildfires, you know, happening all over the place. France, all parts of Spain, due to the heat. But this kicked off right next to the campsite the other day at 5 p.m, camping Torre de la Pena. And yeah, and it's getting pretty fierce as well. There's a lot of emergency services involved. And if you want to have a look at this fire, there it is. Yeah, it's a proper wildfire. You can see it's out of control. And a lot of people, especially the locals, have been evacuated. It has affected some flights coming to Andalusia, as you can imagine. And yeah, it's not looking good. But this is not the first wildfire we've had this year. We've had quite a few going on, and a few that's gone really out of control. And with tourism really important this time of year, busy time, people coming in, especially down this part of Andalusia. And that ain't the only thing that's happened. We've had a big, massive bird strike on an Iberian flight in Madrid. Massive big old right at the front now, the planes you can see, proper damage to the nose. The Airbus A321 XLR. And yeah, 20 minutes takeoff, and it literally had to come back down and land and return back to the airport. And of course, all the emergency protocols were taken. The aircraft was given priority to land straight away. Unfortunately, everyone on the plane, there was no incident, everyone was safe, and now the plane is taken out of service. I should imagine it would be for an inspection. But I think it means more than inspection. I think it needs the nose repaired. I wouldn't want to be getting on that plane with a big hole. So that ain't the only thing that's happening. Of course, we're going to be telling you about, and it's Ryanair strikes galore. Bad news, because luggage handlers are going on strike, and they're going on strike for the later part of August, and it could be going all year. So we're going to tell you about the dates about that. We're also going to tell you what you can do, and if you get affected by these strikes, and whether you can claim your money back or not. Also, we've got a little story to tell you, which happened recently on Ryanair with some woman, baggage. Apparently she got pulled up to put a baggage in one of these little boxes to see if it fits, and they wanted to fine her 75 euros. So we'll tell you about that story in a minute, but first of all, this big strike, and of course they always do it in holiday time, don't they? And it's people that handle the luggage this time, and they're still trying to sort out their dispute with overtime pay and all kind of work practices and all things like that, basically. It's from the 15th of August, and it's the UGT union, the AZU, the people that handle the luggage in these airports, and it's affecting a lot of airports all in Spain. And if you come at holiday, you're going to expect disruptions. I know that you're probably going to expect not only delays, but flights being cancelled. So you might be getting cheap flights with Ryanair, but they never seem to come short of the latest news, do they? They're always popping up. And it ain't good, because they're going to start these strikes on the 15th, 16th and 17th of August. And after that, them dates of the 15th, 16th and 17th, they're saying it's going to be every Wednesday, every Friday, every Saturday, every Sunday until the end of the year. So virtually every day, apart from Tuesday, innit? And Thursday, bloody crazy. So after the 17th of August, if you're coming by plane with Ryanair, you don't want to be flying on them days they're striking. Looks like you've got to dodge them days and just book the other days. But then again, you're probably going to be paying premium prices. It could be a little tactic, couldn't it? And these strikes are going to be starting early in the morning as well, when they do these strikes. And it's going to be from 5 AM to 9 AM. then it's 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then it goes 9 p.m. to 12 o'clock. So basically having a few hours in between, having a little respite. So literally all day, innit, really? So you're guaranteed to be disrupted with your flights if they're planning this all through every few hours during these days they've come up with to do their little protest, get their money, get their own way. Old Aries boasting he's making record profits and he's making so much money. Well, he needs to dish some out to the staff because they're not happy about it. He's making all the money and they're working their old clogs off. So this industrial action they're doing is going to be affecting all Ryanair Spanish bases and work centres, and including the region of Murcia, Madrid, Barcelona, and then Valencia. You talk about Seville, Mallorca, Alicante, Ibiza, Palma, Girona, Tenerife, Lanzarote, basically everywhere. So it will be affecting a lot of holiday makers that are visiting this summer. And if they're coming over with Ryanair, you're going to be expecting lots of delays and cancellations. So what rights do you have as a passenger when all these disruptions going on? What can you do about it? What can you claim? Well, I'm going to let you know about that and I'll let you know what the rules are and how they stand at the moment. A big consumer group here, which gives you all the rules and regulations about travellers and flight cancellation, and because of flight strikes as well, what you can actually be entitled to when this all happens. And the good thing is you might be entitled up to 600 euros, as well as a full refund or the ticket price that you paid for. So on top of your compensation, you get your money back for your ticket. That's under the Article 7 of the European rules here in Spain. European Regulation 261/2004. Passengers will receive compensation 250 for flights up to 1,500 kilometres. So the further you go and it gets cancelled, the more money you can get back. And they're saying 400 euros for intro-community flights of more than 1,500, and all other flights between 1,500 kilometres and 3,500 kilometres, you'll end up with a 600 euro compensation claim. So the association stressed that according to the 2018 ruling from the Court of Justice of the European Union, a strike by an airline workers does not qualify as an extraordinary circumstances. As you get the weather and all things like that, earthquake, dust and volcanoes and all that kind of things, extraordinary occasions. Well, a strike is not classed as extraordinary, so you will be able to claim. But there is more to the story, of course, as there always is. They're saying as well, Ryanair cannot use the strike as a reason to avoid paying the compensation that people are entitled to. However, there are exceptions. And of course, the exceptions are that you will not get it back. So the main exceptions is if they've already told you 2 weeks beforehand, you received information that there's going to be disruption and the flight has been changed or cancelled. So you get that advance notice of up to 2 weeks, then there's a little loophole, I'm afraid. You will not be getting any kind of refund at all. So we're saying that every traveller have been told to make sure they check everything, mainly check out your email box, junk folders and all kind of things like that, so that you don't miss out on these cancellations and what's going on, and keep you well up to date with everything. Because if you don't get that little notice about the disruption 2 weeks beforehand and it's been cancelled and you turn up and they spring it upon you, that's when you're starting to start chittinging and putting your claims in. Of course, we had another story we were talking about the other day about EasyJet as well, and then Ryanair cottoned on the workers that are working at the desk before they check in on the flight. They have to spot people with oversized baggage and they get a little bonus. And of course the bonus seemed to be working, because with a customer the other day, Ryanair, the woman wasn't even queuing up. She got pulled out from sitting down. She said she was really picked on, really. But as she got pulled out to put a bag in and it didn't fit and they were demanding that she paid this 75 euros, she was angry. But I tell you what, not as angry as the people that were in the airport as well, see what was going on and see the little tactics Ryanair are up to, because the bag wasn't really that big. And they actually clubbed together and started literally sticking up for this poor girl with a bag, because it weren't, like I say, it wasn't really big. But what they done was the blokes in the queue started taking their belts off. There was like 3 or 4 people with all their belts off, and I actually found a belt that went round this luggage of hers, and they managed to make it really tight, and she managed to get it in the box. You thought that'd be the end of it, wouldn't you? No, the old staff weren't having it. They were not having these tactics, and what they did is they made her stay to the end and stopped her going on, unless she paid this €75. And she were arguing with them, and with all the people that were sticking up for her, I think the woman got a bit embarrassed in the end that was working for Ryanair, and she gave in and she let her get on the flight. After all, she did get it in the box, didn't she? She did get it in there. So yeah, they're the tactics, eh? They're getting desperate, aren't they? Cheap flights, but it's not good when you hear stories like that. I don't know who you fly with. Of course, there's a lot of cheap budget airlines around the world, not just from England, from all over Europe. Of course, people coming from Sweden, different parts of Europe. But it just seems that Ryanair and EasyJet are always in the firing line. People use them, they love them because they're cheap, and that's what O'Leary says. He says he doesn't care about the bad publicity. It doesn't matter what goes on, because people are always going to be using them because they are the cheapest of them all. He goes, if you go by the rules, you ain't got nothing to worry about. You know, it's the people that don't go by the rules that are messing up for everyone else. That's what he actually said the other day. He said, play by the book and you'll have no worries. And if you want to get on these planes and you want to mess about and cause disruption, you will get kicked off, you get banned for life, and you won't be able to use them again because you're making it bad for all the other people that go by the rules. That is O'Leary's statement, which he said. I'm going to hold my hand up. I do fly with Ryanair, and we do go by the rules. We fly with them all the time. And to be truthful, they do get bad publicity, and I do report a lot of them. But when you're talking about an airline that's one of the cheapest going, you're always going to hear little stories because everyone wants to break the rules. But we go by the rules. I tell you what, very rarely the flight gets delayed. And we don't try to take too much luggage either, because if we're going back to the UK, a little hand luggage, when we get over there, we've got stuff over there. So yeah, there are ways of saving money, of course. It's when you start buying suitcases and all the extras on board, that's when it can come expensive. But they can be cheap. I don't know if you use Ryanair, EasyJet, let us know. Or let us know if you've had any experiences. As you can see, we're back up on the front, Playa de Cura, on the Costa Blanca. Business as usual. It's a scorcher, it's busy, and it's holiday time, it's August. No matter what time of year, it's always like this anyway. But where it's just gone 11:30 in the morning. And won't be long before this beach gets absolutely solid packed. But I'll tell you what though, I have noticed it's not as busy. I don't know if anyone else has noticed. July and August this year hasn't been as busy as it normally has. In fact, I didn't find it as busy at all. This seems like just a little bit above normal people here, but normally it really is proper Ramo here in Torrevieja, and I've heard other people say the same. And I've heard people say it's a bit quiet down in Benidorm as well. Mind you, they're probably getting quiet for a reason with all the bad publicity. Yeah. That is all today's news, of course, so really important if you're coming out to Spain and if you're using Ryanair, prepared all the way to the end of the year. You've got all these strikes. And if you want to know more about Spain and important things and the latest important things and all the latest news, do check up there. And before I go, a big thank you for all the super thanks, of course, I've received, and the coffees. We have 3 coffees there that come through the app, which really appreciate it. And Roger and Baycast and John, really appreciate all the support. And of course, the channel members get to see all the videos before they go public. And it's hasta luego from Torrevieja.